They were no longer getting positive cash flow. Maybe they were breaking even if they were lucky, but most likely they were losing out because most likely they bought with 10 to 20% down. In today's video, inventory was at an all-time high in December of 2020 for the downtown Toronto condo market, and now inventory is slowing down. What does this tell us and why is this happening? Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realty Inc. You can find my contact information in the description box in terms of my office, my Gmail, and my Instagram. Feel free to get in touch with any questions you have. As well, subscribe, comment, and like this video. Your support is much appreciated if you happen to enjoy my videos and content. If not, don't do it. You actually can unsubscribe, dislike. I'm open to negative feedback if it's constructive as well. So let's get to the point of today's video, which is downtown Toronto condo market and the inventory. Now the inventory was at an all-time high in December. I'm going to go through a few numbers, and then I'm going to go through why it's slowing down and what we can learn from this and why it's happening. First, let's establish the premise. In December of 2020, based on the Zoocasa report and my own numbers, the Toronto downtown market saw a historic and large number of condos available for sale of the amount of 989 active listings in the month of December. Now, there's 989 units available for sale in the month of December was a 218% increase year over year when we compare it to the same month of the preceding year, which was December of 2019. That's 679 more units available for sale. So why did this originally happen? Well, I've made a lot of videos about it for all the various different causes, but I'll quickly explain here. We saw a decline of the rental market, mainly caused by two primary factors. One was the Airbnb regulations that was imposed upon Airbnb operators and caused them as investors to shift towards the long-term rental market because the regulations posed a great obstacle to them actually operating Airbnb units. Once this influx occurred into the rental market was already faltering. Don't get me mistaken, the rental market, as I've established in previous videos, was down at large around the GTA, but it was especially pronounced for condominiums, and especially condominiums downtown, because people no longer required to rent downtown for proximity to work reasons, no longer wanted to live in a densely populated area as well. So this, in conjunction with the fact of all the investors now coming into the long-term rental market from Airbnb markets, caused the market to further decline and accelerated decline in rates because there was not enough demand to meet the oversupply that existed on the market. Naturally, this massive decline of the rental market caused a massive decline of condo prices because a majority of owners downtown, about I would say 60% or something, are investors who rent out their units. They were no longer getting positive cash flow. Maybe they were breaking even if they were lucky, but most likely they were losing out because most likely they bought with 10 to 20% down. They could no longer afford to operate, and as a result, they decided to sell. And the same thing happened in effect. A oversupply of the condominium market downtown and not enough demand to match it, causing the prices slowly drop all the way to December. And now, in a previous video, I explained that it's slowly heating up, but it is still a buyer's market. Don't get me wrong, the prices are still lower than early 2020 and 2019. However, prices are slowly going back up. Point being, this is why we saw so many listings in December, about 989, which was a 218% increase. But now the inventory has slowed down. And why is that the case? Well, we can attribute it to two reasons primarily. That's at least my professional opinion upon this. Reason number one is because due to the growing cases on a daily basis of the pandemic, there was further lockdowns imposed on the city. And a lot of investors who were looking to sell maybe had their units occupied by a tenant, or they were themselves an end user and they were occupying their unit. Basically, point being, this lockdown that was implemented by the Ford government on Ontario has caused the stoppage of a certain amount of units that were going to come to the market, and they're no longer on the market. So we can look at it as a pent-up supply. I suspect that once this lockdown is over, the daily case figures for the pandemic and this virus continue to get lower and further restrictions are lifted and things open up more, this pent-up supply will release itself and you'll see a lot of inventory coming onto the market. So that's number one. So what's number two? Well, number two, the second reason I believe inventory has slowly dropped into 2021, into January of 2021 for the downtown Toronto real estate market, is because a lot of investors jumped in December and November, already bought low. The bought low opportunities are not gone by any means. Once again, the market is still lower, much lower than the same time last year. So you're still buying low, but the sellers have gotten adjusted and now see that there is a floor being established by the investors who are jumping in to buy low. And naturally, when a lot of transactions have already occurred, there's less sales to be had given this floor. Now let me address both these points: the pent-up supply due to the lockdown that we're not seeing, and also a lot of buy low opportunities have already been taken advantage of. There will be more supply coming onto the market once the caseloads get less and less and the pent-up supply gets released. However, still will not be as much as we saw in December, at least in my estimate and in my opinion. We're no longer gonna see the massive offloading of investors selling their units that we saw in November and December. And we're still gonna see more listings into February and March than we saw same time last year, but it's gonna be a more moderate market. Still gonna be closer to a buyer's market, but more moderate. And part of the shift towards a more moderate market is less listings and less inventory coming into the market, still lower prices, but prices being a bit higher. Anyways, hopefully that would clarify everything. If you have any further questions, please feel free to get in touch. Ask me in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, and like. Your support is much appreciated, and stay safe. Thank you very much.